Creatures of the night, we have interesting developments with Ring of Honor. We started off with Sammy Guevara, who's letting us know that Rush is injured and that he won't be able to compete with Sammy Guevara to put the Ring of Honor titles on the line. And now the tag titles are vacated once again. However, Sammy does have a partner, which is Beast Mortals. Him and Beast Mortals will be teaming up to go against Tommy Billington and Adam Priest. Winner of that match will be the Ring of Honor Tag Champion. So obviously, Sammy is getting an opportunity to get the titles again, but at this present time it is vacated due to Rush being injured. Get well, bruv. Now, in our first match, we do have STP, which is Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and Anthony Ogogo. Yes, you heard that right. Anthony Ogogo in action to go against the Dark Order in trios action. I have been wanting them to do this with STP. STP doesn't necessarily have to just be the six-man tag champions, which is the Infantry and Shane Taylor. I wanted them to mix them up at times so we could get a chance to see everyone in the group get a moment to work with each other. So I was happy to see Anthony Ogogo back in the ring and teaming up with Shane and Lee Moriarty. And I think that they look really great as a trio. However, it's not looking good for the Dark Order, and they end up taking an L. I do feel like there has been improvements with this group, and I still do like them together, but I'm thinking that maybe a complete repackage, don't have to be Dark Order anymore, just something that'll probably bring other opportunities to these guys, because I like them, but it's just not working out. I'm not as interested as I once was in the Dark Order. Now, after this, we do have Blake Christian, who's cutting a promo basically saying that, he's been the one who's been trying to get his hands on the Ring of Honor world title, but obviously since Bandito couldn't show up on the show, he's been kind of having like this one-sided beef thing where he's like trying to put in the work to go for the world title, but there's never been any promos or anything going on between Blake and Bandito. So he's going to be in the Survival of the Fittest match with not just Bandito, but 4 other guys. And any of these people can end up leaving the pay-per-view with the Ring of Honor world title. And Blake is letting y'all know right now it's going to be him. Now, after this, we actually had a couple of matches that were filmed when I went to Collision, 3 weeks ago that were on here. And I was like, whatever happened to those matches? So they ended up putting some of those matches on this episode of Ring of Honor. So we did have the Von Erichs going against Zach Mason and Warren Johnson. This was a easy win for the Von Erichs, and I feel like if they're in Texas, then the Von Erichs will show up. If they're not in Texas, then they just don't show up. I don't know, whatever. I like the Von Erichs' work ethic in the ring. They're obviously brothers, so they have great chemistry with each other as a team, but unfortunately, they're not consistently on the show. It's like, oh, yeah, in Texas, all right, we'll come over, but if they're anywhere else, we almost never see them, and I feel like they have done more matches when they were not the Ring of Honor six-man tag champions versus now with them not having them at all. So it's really interesting to see how that is working out. But I like them, and I want to see more of them if they're going to be part of Ring of Honor. Now, before our next match, we do have Jay Lethal, who's apologizing to Adam Priest because he's the reason why they took an L against the Death Riders on Collision last week. And honestly, it's the Death Riders. Y'all knew y'all was losing anyway. Jay is apologizing. At first, Adam Priest is like, bruv, I don't want to hear it because I'm still hurting. But they're putting their feelings aside because they have a match to have tonight. So we have Jay Lethal, Tommy Billington, and Adam Priest going against the Frat House. The MVP of the night was Jack Jameson hat that never came off the entire match. How are y'all wrestling in baseball caps and the hats are not coming off? I was just like, yo, I don't know how you're doing this, but this is fucking legendary. I loved it. I thought it was actually cool. I did also see this match a few weeks back when I was at Collision, and I love the Frat House. I really do. But then again, I love this team that Adam Priest and Jay and Tommy has, and I kind of felt a little torn between cheering for either one of these teams. Now, in terms of charisma, frat house. They do have that over Jay's team. So I feel like I want to see more with Jay's team, but they end up taking the win. Obviously, we do have Adam and Tommy. They're going to be teaming up to go for the tag title. So, that works out in terms of maybe a little warm up for them before they go for the tag titles next Friday. But I would love to see the frat house picking up W's because I really, really like this group. And a shocker. The Ring of Honor Pure Women's Tournament continued, which was the quarterfinals. Serena Deeb versus Yuka Sakazaki. And I'm sitting here on camera doing a live stream like, I ain't worried about this. I'm not worried about this. Serena, when I thought about the Pure tournament, my first pick in terms of who would win or at least make it to the finals was Serena Deeb. Because I was like, when I think of that pure style, Serena fits the bill for me, despite her being boring in terms of personality. And I was just like, okay, right, this will be perfect. Maybe her and Deonna will end up, being the last two. Now, Serena Deeb uses 2 rope breaks pretty quickly. And I think Yuka only had 1 rope break. Then she uses her 3rd rope break. And then I was like, all right, she's going to have to play really smart here in order to win this and advance onto the tournament. And what ended up happening is Yuka hits her finisher. And right as referee counts to 3, Serena puts her foot on the rope. And referee still counts and raise her hand, and Yuka is like looking like, why are you raising my hand? And really, she's already used her rope breaks. Serena already used all 3, so that was not going to break the count, and Yuka was the winner. I was absolutely shocked about this because I was just like, whoa. The first time I ever heard about the Pure title, my mind immediately went to Serena Deeb, and that's way earlier this year, by the way. So just to keep in mind, like, how long this shit been going on, and I was so shocked. It's not how I thought it was going to go. So Yuka is moving on to advancing to the semifinals, and I'm just really surprised about this. Now after this, we have Premier Athletes. They're going against Enhancement Talent. Now the only one I recognized was Charity King. Now I was also at this collision where they taped this match. And honestly, I felt like something is missing. Like, even though I do like Story Denali, I love the Premier Athletes. Y'all know, if y'all been watching me, I know I love them. And, they have definitely come a long way from losing every motherfucking show to actually now winning, especially now with this contingency plan that Mark Sterling has said, which is Story Denali. She's tall, she's beautiful, and she has an interesting look. And I'm just like, yes, I like this. Where's it going? However, I just feel like I haven't seen much of her. I'm like, all right, it's been a couple of months and I'm still waiting to see something, and I'm not seeing enough. And this felt short for me. Premier Athletes end up taking the win, which, I'm happy about seeing them win, but I want to see them make more of an impact. And I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see that. After this, we have a really great tag team match with Beef teaming up with Oro to go against the Swirl. I always just chuckle every time I hear Swirl because I'm just like, this is so cliche of a black dude teaming up with a white guy. Like, it's so crazy. Whatever. Both these teams are really, really great. And honestly, I felt like I would like to see Beef and Oro again teaming up. I thought they complemented each other a lot here. But then again, we do have Blake Christian and Lee Johnson that has been killing it right now as a team. And for real, if Blake wasn't in that situation where he has been, gunning for wanting to go for the Ring of Honor World title, they could have put Blake and Lee in that situation to go for the tag titles, because they have been putting in so much work, and they have literally been the best performing tag team. Yes, you heard that, in Ring of Honor, even with Sammy and Rush holding the titles. They haven't really done much. Definitely not in comparison to Blake and Lee Johnson. This was really fun. Definitely one of the matches to watch in this whole entire show, and to see the growth of Swirl as of late, I'm just like, yo, like, put them on Collision, put them on Dynamite. Like, there's something about them that's really special. I would definitely put the Ring of Honor tag titles on these guys, and see where they can go from there, because they really work well as a team. Swirl with the win. Now After this, I wasn't expecting this, because I was like, hold on, I haven't heard nothing about no Lee Moriarty or nothing for the Final Battle pay-per-view. Here it comes. Nigel McGuinness comes on the screen, and I was like, all right, what you doing here? And then he goes on to say that he's challenging Lee Moriarty to a 30-minute Iron Man match for Final Battle. Now, if you guys remember, last year, Final Battle, Lee Moriarty had an open challenge, and Nigel McGuinness was the one who took on that challenge, and that match was so good. Oh my god, it's so good. If you have not seen it, you're missing out on a classic gem. They tore the house down, all right? And then, now I'm trying to remember exactly, but that match to qualify for that match where someone had to qualify to go against Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door, Lee Moriarty was also in that match. Also, Nigel was there. Who else was all in there? Whatever it was, they were in there. And when Nigel won that match, he won it on Lee. So they both got a win over each other. And now Nigel's just like, well, bitch, let's run it back. You got one on me. I got one on you. Let's do this for the third time. Iron Man match, 30 minutes for the title. And I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. Now for our main event, we do have Komander going against Mansoor. Mansoor obviously Mobb Deep with MXM Collection and their ringside. And I have to say, the difference between this match and the match that MXM had last night with Dalton Castle and the Outrunners were that despite Mansoor still playing on the comedy thing, you saw Mansoor wrestling and showing like, I'm not just a comedy guy. Like, I can wrestle, I can come out here and make you guys laugh, but I'm doing my thing. And that's the difference. Like, what I saw in Collision yesterday, I was not entertained. This time I was just like, let's go, Mansoor. These guys are really talented wrestlers. And I don't like when they're thrown on situations, especially being on AWTB, and they're just a comedy act from like point A to point B. And it's just so annoying to see. And it was refreshing to see our boy Mansoor like putting in the work. He looks absolutely amazing with Komander. You had a laugh. You obviously have MXM Collection getting involved here and there. And, you know, pretty much trying to get over on Komander. But Komander ends up taking the win. Komander did earn a spot to go against Lee Moriarty for the Pure title, and I was surprised that they did not announce that for this pay-per-view. So at some point they'll end up happening at some point in the future. I still actually prefer that they chose for Nigel to go against Lee Moriarty. So real quick, let me tell y'all the card for Final Battle for next week, Friday. All right, y'all. So real quick, here's what we have so far for the card. I think this is only main card only because I don't remember hearing them say any of this was going to be on the pre-show. But we do have a 30-minute Iron Man match with Lee Moriarty and Nigel McGuinness. I believe that is for the Pure title because I remember when I showed it, I did see the Pure title picture on there. So I think it's for a title. We also have the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships on the line, which are vacant. So that's Sammy Guevara and Beast Mortos teaming up to go against Tommy Billington and Adam Priest. We also have the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship on the line. So we don't know who that is right now. The next episode of Ring of Honor is next Thursday. They'll have the semifinals match. There's going to be Queen Aminata and Deonna Purrazzo on one side of the bracket. On the other side of the bracket is going to be Yuka Sakazaki and Billy Stark. So winner of that match will go on to the finals at the pay-per-view. So we don't know who that is as of yet. Now we have the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles on the line. We do have Shane Taylor Promotions going against Sky Flight. Also, I forgot to mention this, but Ricochet was on the show basically letting everybody know that as the AEW National Champion, he will also be putting his title on the line at Ring of Honor. So I guess this is more of a challenge situation because somebody has to step up to go against Ricochet at the pay-per-view. So we don't know who that opponent will be at this time. We also have the Ring of Honor Women's Television title on the line. We have Mercedes Moné going against Red Velvet. We also have the women's title on the line, which is Athena going against Persephone. And then for our main event, we have the Ring of Honor Championship on the line in a Survival of the Fittest match, which is going to be Bandito as a champion going against Sammy Guevara, Hechicero, Komander, Blake Christian, and Beast Mortos. So yes, Sammy and Beast Mortos will be teaming up with each other to possibly get the tag championships, and then later on in the main event they'll be going against each other to possibly get their hands on the Ring of Honor championship. Now this is really interesting. Now like the build to this honestly has been really lackluster, but the pay-per-views are always on point, and I just wish that we could have a little bit more of a focus on these stories. And while I have enjoyed Bandito on AEW TV, like, let's not neglect Ring of Honor when it comes to whoever it is that's holding the world title in Ring of Honor. That right there, I feel like has been putting a damper on the show, because people want to see whoever it is that's holding the top championship within Ring of Honor. So from here, I hope they do better with the weekly shows, but overall, I know this pay-per-view is gonna be a banger. You guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back next Wednesday, which seems like a long time from now, for a Dynamite. I'll see you guys in the live stream, or you can catch my review. See you guys then.